Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of DeLorean Tech, and here we are at the San Diego DeLorean Club Tech Day.
Welcome to the 2023 San Diego DeLorean Tech event in San Diego at my house. We have presentations. Skip Vaughn and myself are doing a presentation comparing the Alpha 5 to the DeLorean DMC-12. Ken Hudson is going to give us a presentation on the Eagle 3.0 PRV engine. We've got lots of interesting things to look at. We're also holding a swap meet today where people can exchange parts.
This is DeLorean Destiny. This is Romel's car from Delivering the Dream Part 2. Check out that new steering wheel he's got in there. It's pretty sick. This is Wayne Selden's car. He's got the headlight covers here, which are pretty cool. So he was at Stainless Summer as well. He brought his car. It's a very clean 81. Nice tinted windows. Very clean example here. And he's got those these are the Street Glow muffler tips. Pretty cool. And this is a very interesting car here. So not only is he missing a window, but he has a full Eagle 3.0 engine swap that he did himself. And believe it or not, this is actually smog legal here in California because he had a referee certify it. So you can do that. Pretty cool. He also has the Stage 1 exhaust here as well. As you can see, that was put on by DMC California.
Trouble with smog.
So we're looking at this exhaust and it looks like the Stage 1 exhaust is hanging pretty low. It looks kind of interesting that way. And he's got the historic vehicle license plate here as well. So he did all the work himself on this Eagle Premier 3.0 swap. So this is pretty impressive. And here we see Anthony from DeLorean Tech. He is going to be driving this DeLorean. First time ever driving a DeLorean. And it's an automatic, so it's going to be a little easy for him because he doesn't know how to drive manual yet. All right, so yeah, we're driving around. Anthony's driving the DeLorean. So this is Dustin's DeLorean. It's an automatic. So give me your reaction, dude. What do you think?
Oh, this is so cool, man. This is like the coolest car I've ever driven ever.
You like it, huh?
Oh, this is so cool. It feels so low to the ground. It's crazy. I was talking to Dustin about you thinking about getting an automatic.
Yeah, we can get an automatic. No problem, huh?
Where am I?
Gotta find one. And here is Gordon Carpenter's car, sexy two-door, the awesome engine compartment, as always.
Hi, I'm Gordon Carpenter. I've owned my 82 DeLorean since June 26th of 1985. It's been a lot of fun driving over the years. Currently I've got 112,000 miles on the car, and I've put a fair amount of effort into making the car look pretty on the inside in the engine bay, and getting Stage 1 exhaust system certified by California. I've put in a Vintage Air Gen 4 AC system. I've got a recommendation for anybody that wants tinting on their DeLorean. I absolutely love the 3M product, Crystalline. As a matter of fact, between the AC system and the crystalline tinting, I can now chill my passenger to the point that they complain, which is unique for a DeLorean. I like it because then we can dial it back to what's really comfortable. I chrome plated my wheels as the answer to painted wheels, and I'm loving that too.
And here is Dustin Hennick's car. So this is pretty cool. Anthony from DeLorean Tech, who just turned 15, got to drive this today. So this is an early VIN 81 automatic. He's got the cruise control. And here is another early VIN 81 that showed up as well to the San Diego Tech Day. This is pretty cool. Don't know whose car this is, but it's a pretty original example. So here is Skip Vaughn's car, another early VIN 81. And he's got the engine bay here. So he's got a lot of custom stainless steel plates going on in the engine compartment. And he also has that Camaro exhaust in there. So that's pretty cool.
All right, shortly after the presentation of the Alpha 5 up at Pebble Beach, then they transported the Alpha 5 down to the Peterson Museum, and they put it on display in the lobby. When you walk into the Peterson Museum, the first thing you saw is the Alpha 5, and alongside it, the gold DeLorean that they have that normally is kept down in the vault. And so this is my first impression when I saw the thing. I have to tell you, when I first heard about it and first saw the very first videos on it, I'm kind of it's not anywhere near like our DMC-12. But the more I look at it, the more I really like it. It is appealing.
Yeah.
And I think that the design will evolve to be very appealing over time. You know, and I know that our DMC-12 didn't have a chance to evolve, and it had lots of things that they were thinking of that they were going to evolve it into. And I think the same opportunity awaits this car here. So they talk about in the Peterson that the inspiration was from Giorgetto Giugiaro. It's actually the group of people that, you know, started the DeLorean DMC-12. It's obviously they're a different group of people, but it's the same company that's evolved, and they're evolving, trying to bring up some of these styling things that were in the original car now in a modern version, okay? So
I took that picture.
she took that picture for me because I'm skeptical. Let's see what this car is really about. And now I'm going to take you through these categories of what's the interior, the exterior. I don't know anything about the power plant other than what I scammed off the internet. And then we have some designs that are yet to emerge. You can see one or two of those cars in your shop.
Yeah, we have the plasma tail prototype and the futuristic prototype.
Yeah, they're still there.
Right.
And when Danny promises me that when he finally gets the Alpha 5 to his shop, he's going to have an open house.
Yeah.
We're all going to go up there and want to buy one.
Yeah.
And so he's promising, you know, that he's going to take all the DMC-12s out of the shop, and the full floor is going to be nothing but new Alphas. All right, so let's go to the next one. Yeah. All right. Todd mentioned that this car looks bigger. For sure it's bigger. These two cars are side by side. There's nothing that's been altered about this photo because that's how close they were parked. We don't know what the Alpha 5 is going to weigh, but here's some comparables. The length, here, it's 30 inches longer, basically. It's wider. These are, you know, current electric cars. It's a little wider, but they were similar to our car, our 12, okay? The height, we have a low car, this is definitely higher. So what does that translate into? That translates into better forward vision. It's safer to drive this car, clearly.
What's the Lucid? I want to be out of it. What's
Lucid?
the
I've seen it once. That's the white car we saw down at Bevel Park. Electric car, $176,000.
Yes, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, that was very
the
heavy.
car, the Lucid looks very similar to this, although it doesn't have a gullwing door. and the interior has a
Yeah.
video display that goes from end to end of the dash. Really
It
noticeable.
was about 170,000.
Yeah, 170.
Yeah.
Okay, so in my opinion, just comparing the two cars, I see that this is much more aerodynamic. This has what I call the edginess, what we all like about the DeLorean, edginess, and yet it has cool flares. This is very linear, okay? Larger wheels, elevated height, and much greater forward visibility. When we get around to the backside of the car, you're going to see that it's dramatically reduced visibility. I'm hoping that that's not a problem for the drivers. When I was first learning how to drive the DMC-12, I adopted a plan that said, if you're trying to move into the lane where another car is, just be going faster than him, and you can't run into him. If you go faster than him and then move into his space, he's behind you. And you know he's behind you when you see him in the rearview mirror. But there's a gap that you're wondering about, did I clear him? So if you're going 10 miles an hour faster, then you eventually get ahead of him, you move over, and you're in. Yeah. So it is a bigger car, and clearly it's going to weigh more. Anthony. They talk about the V styling. You can see that in the lines here. And then when the doors are open, you saw the LED lines that go up that match the angle of the doors. I thought that's very cool. We're now seeing in all the modern cars very slim, hidden headlights, turn indicators. You're also seeing another trend. Practically nobody is making their manufacturer's name visible. They're making it very, you really have to look hard to find the word DeLorean on here. It's there, and you saw it because Todd took a picture of it up close. But from 15 feet away, with no electricity on in this car, it's not there. So what is that car that's going down the street in front of me, you know? They've incorporated into here a really nice ground effects air dam in the front. Turbofan wheel design, and there's no lug nuts. You are not going to change this tire by yourself on the road. You're going to ask for help, and most likely you're also going to be carrying the lug nut, the wrench that goes over this thing, because your average shop is not going to have the DeLorean wrench. He's maybe have a wrench for a very popular car, but if there's not many of them on the road, they're not going to buy those wrenches, and therefore you're going to have to carry it with you. I was talking to a person that had one of these high-end Porsches, and I noticed that kind of a wheel lug on it, and I said, so what's it take to get off? And he says, 450 foot-pounds of force and this nut. That nut had I'm thinking half-inch adapter to it for vehicles, because everybody knows how much more efficient they are. It's just deploying electricity to the level that we have gasoline deployed is a challenge, and we will get there. So Anthony, let's go. There's the front comparison, how they look, okay? Okay. Here's the inside. That was my lunge towards the car. Yeah, those are cup holders, and these are, I think, climate control knobs. This display here has got all your driving instruments. The rest of the car is entirely controlled from this right here.
Todd showed it really great.
I really don't know why everything is in the floating center, but whatever, that's how they designed it. Yeah. Tesla has this too. You can't really see it well, Because the steering wheel's got a flat bottom to it. And I talked to someone that owns a Tesla with it. He says you get used to it. You know.
Why? Why did they do it in the first place?
More labor.
Leg clearance.
Yeah. That's a good reason.
Yeah, I think so.
For a big guy.
Yeah.
Or like
leg
when
clearance.
I scoot the car forward and then Gordon wants to get in, he can't even get in it to scoot it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Anthony, please. I didn't get to try to just test this out, but it seems like it would be easy to get into the rear seats. You don't have the B-pillar to work around. And one thing I noticed about these seats, you saw it in Todd's thing as well, they are really nice seats, much like you would experience in the front seat, the bucket seats in the front. These are equally nice rear seats.
Yeah.
And down between the two seats, you have a little, like a 9-inch display for people that want to have information in the back seat. So the people in the back seat now have as much as maybe you and I have in our front seat. In the next photo, I'm going to try and show you anything about the doors here. So let's go to that. Yeah. I really tried to take a photo in here and to see what was on the inside, and
Mechanism, yeah.
I got a little minor reflection right here, but I couldn't see it. The roof is, what would you say, 5 inches thick?
I would guess.
So there's plenty of room for an electric motor
I got an idea how to do it.
that can drive that door up.
It's on a jack shaft.
Yeah,
Or not jack shaft,
there's enough depth there for the seat motor up.
Cantilever.
And then you got the two struts, one front and back. So that's nice. Here's another door detail. That's your door sill. This is their 300-mile battery pack. It's gonna, I found this is interesting here. They're starting to get things sourced, but it's not in the U.S.
Huh.
I don't know. What's with that?
Have a supplier from
We got the company is based in San Antonio, Texas, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, why would you call on the neighbors to help you build this car? San Antonio, Texas is also kind of a center of excellence for electric cars, as I understand it. Again, why wouldn't you ask your neighbors to help you build this car?
Nobody wants to share the powertrain. That's a big problem right now.
Yeah, so
Powertrain's a huge deal right now for the new car.
so this was I reaching out on the internet. I was an interesting discovery. That's okay, but I would have preferred it to be in the back. Let's go to the next.
Why? Why?
The rear quarter.
Yeah, why?
Just because I want the front of my car to be without
Oh,
obstructions and whatever,
okay.
I think just because you normally fill your car on a DMC-12 in the front, we don't have to put the electricity in on the front.
It's kind of like the gas flap on the DeLorean.
Yeah, it's kind of like a gas
Yeah,
flap on
it's
the
kind of
DeLorean.
an
I'd rather it be in
design,
the,
yeah.
yeah. All right, so this is where we get the plasma tailed car. That one's available
It's in our
to
showroom
see
right
in the show, their showroom.
Oh, that's the one?
Yeah, it's essentially the same car.
Right.
It's literally just a box.
It's got wheels and rolls, but they don't turn. So we actually want to put the road jacks together around. And that's basically just a plain on it. It's all hollow inside.
The wheels don't turn?
You can roll it around the wheels back and forth, but they don't turn, so I can't.
The steering wheel?
Steering wheel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I gotta put it up on jacks to turn.
Okay.
Around.
Okay.
This is essentially a station wagon version of the Alpha 5.
Or an SUV.
What do they call it, an SUV?
Yeah.
Same drive system, and with the next picture, you're gonna see what it really looks like, because it's hard to see the plasma tail there. Let's go to Anthony. So now you see
Yeah.
all of this is offering you storage capability. Yeah.
That's a good point. Look at the gas. Look at the electrical port in the front door. It kind of breaks.
That's the electrical port, that little triangle?
It breaks everything up, doesn't
I
it?
think so, and I would have rather it been right back
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, I wasn't on the design team.
I would
They
have
didn't
preferred
ask
it was
you.
under the
They
front.
didn't ask me. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead.
That's very attractive.
All right, and here is the future DeLorean off-road vehicle. Okay.
No windows.
No window on the side.
From Mars.
Fastback design, allowing for potential use of a number of automotive technology features, alternative things. Okay, so you're not gonna need to look out the side window. You're driving straight, you're going as fast as you can in the Baja 500, and little indicators that you can mount on the side of this vehicle, and it'll let you know whether you're 3 inches or 2 feet from the edge of a cliff. But
You want to depend on the computer to tell you you're 2 feet from the cliff?
yeah.
Try to look out a window. I think.
Yeah, I know, you're looking
It's not
at,
mapped out
hey
yet.
buddy, shotgun, will you tell me if we're gonna go off the edge? So let's look at the next couple of slides here. Here's the front end. Using that same technology where they had the backup, the third brake light, they've got a running light concept going here on the front of the car. And I have to assume that real headlights are somewhere in here.
I think those are supposed to be futuristic headlights.
It is pretty.
I think so, I mean, that's something. It matches the back, because the back ones are.
Yeah, let's go to the next frame.
Yeah.
There's your rear.
Yeah.
And is this a side
It's
running light?
It's just a side, it doesn't light up,
It doesn't.
no, but it's just a little side piece of it.
Danny, can you talk to us about these tires?
Those are just plainly fiberglass, just for looks. We hook them on the car when we display them, and there's just a spare tire underneath it.
They look like they are so off-road.
Right, they do, they have a futuristic look to them, if they really grab old, or maybe they change when you drive, and,
Yeah,
you know, who knows, imagination.
You got both of them?
yeah.
Yeah, oh, I got this out there, this one's plogging up my Back to the Future.
So here's some of your,
Tell us how you're doing. Those should be like, they appear to be like solar panels.
solar panels, or maybe they're communication links.
Not really sure.
Yeah.
Each got little lights on, like a solar panel.
Yeah, so,
There's that Mercedes, like the AB Avatar or something like that, that has those kind of scales on it.
Yeah, you're right. I
It's
saw
called
that.
Mercedes like ABTR or something like that.
Yeah, it has the same thing.
so, I think that's my last slide. Anthony, can you change it one more time?
Then I got all the
Okay.
quarter version cars.
I had some questions after I got done with this. Who knows someone who's put money down on Alpha 5?
I'm looking at you, Hogarth.
I don't people.
Andy says they've actually been getting orders on a fairly regular basis, so this is good news for us.
How much should
Because-
they put down to hold it?
I don't know.
Cybertruck?
It's changed a couple of times since then, because at first it was put a certain amount down, I think it was like $5,000 down. And then they started changing it to buying an NFT, which is like a digital art form, which is tradable. In other words, if you bought right now and bought an NFT, and when the car gets in line to come up, you got a number, you got a bill slot, let's just say you don't want it. Now you could sell an NFT for as much as you want.
Oh.
If somebody else wants it right away, so there's a potential for some people are buying the NFTs just
Yeah.
for investment.
Yeah.
Going, there's gonna be some desperate people when these things start rolling off the line,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make some money, and that's what they're doing.
I've definitely heard of that with the Lamborghini world. People put in their money. I don't know what it is to invest and get in line for a Lamborghini, but you tell them what you're gonna buy, you put so much money down, and then you wait a year and a half, 2 years or more, and someone else comes along with a lot of money in their pocket. They're dying to have a car off the lot right now, and you go, yeah, I could be bought out, and you sell your position in line. So that's what may be going to emerge with the DeLorean NFT, the Alpha 5
As far as I
NFT.
know, the only car ever to sell spots with an NFT, the first car ever.
Yeah, so I don't know how many of you are familiar with NFTs. I'm not really familiar with it, but there's a lot more to an NFT. It's called non-fungible token, and it entitles you to a whole lot of electronic privileges and rights. So let's say DeLorean Alpha 5 team decide that they're going to include in their NFT a video of your car being assembled end to end. Maybe it's compressed into a time lapse, or you can pay it later on. That becomes an electronic add-on that is only you own for your car, and it validates your car. It gives it more prestige because we saw this car being built all the way through the line, as opposed to your average Chevy that
Corvette.
or your average Corvette. Yeah.
First time turning the car on the factory floor.
Yeah, that's right. A video of you turning on your Corvette.
And you
That's
get a
a-
birth certificate.
Yeah, and there's,
Yeah, Corvette.
Yeah. All right. So I learned of NFTs associated with Alpha 5, and I'm going, hey, let's talk about that. I talked to Danny. I've talked to Tyler here. And we now kind of have a little idea what it might be, but until they start actually publishing, and you know, this car is going to come off the line, you don't really know what that NFT is. Where will it be built? I don't know, but I sure hope it's built here. I couldn't find anything about it, and
They're hoping San Antonio.
yeah, the start of the marketing tour was Pebble Beach. But when will we see more publicity? I don't know.
We've already signed up, we will be back at Pebble Beach this year.
This year,
So we'll be
okay?
back, I don't know what scale we're gonna do it.
All about the relays in the DeLorean back here in our electrical area of the thing. This here is a picture of the electric area before being modified, and you know, as it came from the factory.
Is that yours?
No, this is something that Chris put together from photos that he has. Yeah. And he starts off with, on the next page, let's go to that next page. He talks off about the original problem was a fan fail module, prone to meltdown, had potential to catch fire, and the factory early on realized this and decided to issue a recall.
Yes, his old stuff, oh, cool.
So
Yeah.
you can see the guts here of a fan fail module. Are you doing that? You are doing that.
I am doing
all right. I put the thing on here and I go, oh, that's cool. The little dot followed me. How did that happen? So Anthony, carry on. There's the inside of this thing, and let's go to the next one. All right, this was the original wire link, and with the heat being generated by the original module, the thing was overheating. We were getting technical issues and fires in that area. So the factory came out with this
Oh, the
fuse.
factory did? The factory came out with
The
that?
factory came out with this, yes. He says here, the original factory fan fail module recall was to replace it with a three-way wire link temporary solution, but with the failure of DMC, and we all know about that, the permanent solution never came out. A later iteration of the wire link included inline fuses. So at this point in time, that was the best thing to do. And
You can pass this around, that's mine. Go ahead.
Wayne brings to our attention an example of one that didn't do too well under the heat.
I had no idea. I just looked
Here, you
at
guys,
it,
pass it
and it
around
was
on this
already
side.
melted. The next step is to catch fire. Just pass it around.
Yeah, so this would be rather disturbing to have happen in your
Yeah.
cabin of your car, because there's not a lot of air there. And if you
Yeah,
fill it up with
good point.
smoke, you're gonna go, what the heck, let's get out of here.
Some people take the top off. I
Yeah,
think you mentioned that, didn't you?
yeah, okay, let's go next one after. Okay, now is the whole point of Chris's presentation, I asked him to make us aware of what are new alternatives. Dave McKean has been designing for our car and cars like it, Volvos and Renaults and all that are using this same technology. He's been designing solid state relays, and they're reasonably good functioning thing. They don't heat up nearly as much. He writes here, Dave McKean's solid state fan relay, best modern solution to restore the original function of the fan fail circuit. Additionally, each fan is protected by a dedicated fuse. Dedicated fuses here. And will run cooler than the conventional relays. So, I haven't done this one yet, but it certainly looks like an obvious one, that why wouldn't you go to that and therefore avoid the potential failure of the fan fail relay. Isn't that ironic? Fan fail relay to avoid a fan failure, smokes in your cabin of your car. Yeah, all right. Next one. Yeah. Okay, changeover relay. Changeover relays power the headlights, blower, motor, radiator fans. Original relays have a metal case and have no branding. At this point, originally relays should be replaced with the modern Bosch units. And here's a picture of the modern Bosch. Okay. Danny, do you supply Dave McKean stuff, or you just supply things that are...
I'll supply the new Bosch relays. The Dave McKean stuff, I haven't been.
Yeah.
I've been installing when people want to know how to put in. I have no problem with them. They've been working out just fine.
Yeah. I think I've had you put some of these in for me, and
Yeah,
they've been working really well. Okay, let's go to the next
So
one.
you sell?
I don't sell Dave McKean stuff. You can buy directly from him on his website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's a take it off, put it in.
Yeah, just plug
It's
it
a
in.
plug.
It's easy.
it's just a plug-in, right? Dave McKean has come up with a special solid-state fan relay that replaces the standard changeover relay. Relay works in conjunction with Dave's fan fail relay. No mechanical parts means this replacement will run much cooler. So once again, if your car hasn't broke, you don't need to fix it. But maybe you, as parts are getting old, maybe you want to consider doing this type of stuff anyway. Talk to Danny, talk to Chris to get your best options. Okay, next one. Solid state RPM relay. This one's a killer. The RPM relay is a mission critical component of the car. It powers the fuel pump. When they go bad in your car, it will not start. The original RPM relay runs very hot, can fail without notice. Solid state unit from Dave McQueen has been made to ensure your car starts it every time. I now have that in my car. I was skeptical at the beginning, and I don't know, it's kind of like my car had to accept it. Because the first few times when I turned on my car, it kind of goes, oh, okay, I'll start. And then, oh, okay, I'll start. But now it just starts fine. So maybe there was a little learning on the car's part, I don't know. At any rate, to get this component, the solid state version of it, you need to send to Chris a, what is that term? Your core.
Yes.
If you don't plan on driving your car for a while, you can pick it right out of your car and mail him what's in your car, and he'll send you back from Dave McKean the solid state version. They're using this frame here to do all that work, because apparently this frame is not common. You can't really just go buy it off the shelf. So at any rate, solid state runs great. My car runs great. It has run fine ever since it got over those first 3 times of, what are you doing to me now? So that's been very successful for me, and I feel better about the fact that I'm not likely to have this problem. So in the next picture, Here is the original, and here's the solid state. You can see that this bundle of wire there has been removed. Other things, the resistors have been reduced to very small modern day electronic resistors, and you're less likely to have failure due to heat because of removing the heat source. Anthony, let's go again.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Yes, go ahead.
Because you deal with so many. Do you recommend taking the top to cover off the
Fuse box.
the fuse box? You do?
Yeah.
Because it gets hot.
It gets warm in there, and
Okay.
I recommend too, everybody just service their fuse box, replace the fuses.
Yeah.
Tighten the connectors. Electrical, loose connections can cause heat. Heat can cause fire. Yeah. So,
And that's how I came across this. I heard that recommendation, I don't know where. So I took all my fuses out and cleaned them. And I came across this, didn't even know it existed.
yeah, and that was a loose fuse. You can tell that one fuse probably got a little loose with one of the connectors.
Yeah,
And it melted.
yeah, and I replaced it with you, and it's a thicker wire now.
Yeah.
So in addition to cleaning the blades on the fuse, if you can get some wet and dry sandpaper, fold it over and put it on a feeler gauge, and then slip it into the contact a few times. That will clean up the contact at the fuse block, where you're trying to put your fuse in. That'll brighten up the contact in the fuse block and eliminate the other half of the poor oxidized connection. In the lambda relay category, this is another relay that runs hot. Dave McKean has designed an electronic version. The original unit was provided by Bosch and is different from the others. It is very important that you do not install a lambda relay in any of the other sockets. So I think what Chris is trying to point out here is that the pin configuration is similar to the other relays, but don't make the mistake of putting a lambda relay in the others, because you'll totally confuse your car.
Smoke the grounds.
Yes, yeah.
Because the DeLorean works by closing the grounds on each circuit,
Yes.
not the other way around with the power on.
Try that with a Model A, they did that awesome. Yes, it's like, what just happened?
So,
Like, what the?
I've had DeLoreans towed in because they went to an electronics store. Oh, about relay electronics store, plugged it in, smoke. Put it there, basically you have to replace every ground in the
Yeah.
harness. And luckily,
Yeah, it's called negative earth instead of positive earth, right? And then once that happens, you don't know it, but you find out the hard way after something just left you stranded and you spend hours figuring it out, and then you gotta go get somebody like you who knows what's up and fix it.
Anthony, let's do the next one. Okay, and finally, new ground relay bus. I don't know what's different about this one versus this one. But
So
it
Gordon,
appears
the
that
bottom one is daisy chain, versus this one here, it's really just connected off of, so you got one inlet wire and then a bunch of separate wires. These are daisy chains, so by the time you get to like your fan fail module and your fan relay, you're at the very end of that ground, which is causes a
You're
lot
putting a lot of load on the end, huh?
Yeah, so this distributes it a little better, I guess, the top one.
Yeah, Chris writes, the original relay socket ground wires daisy chained ground metal that suffers from mediocre crimps. If there is a short at one point in the harness, it will travel along to the rest. Dave's updated ground bus has dedicated ground wires going to each relay socket.
So those recommendations.
You're right on.
Huge difference, actually, big difference. I did a lot of testing on this one, temperature, everything just went down. I mean, if you're gonna do the relays that Dave has, you should do this too. It's a little bit of work, but the ground bus is like $10, something like that.
I did it, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
It grounds behind the parcel shell.
I grounded it differently, yeah, I grounded it differently than Dave recommended. I just grounded it directly to the bulkhead ground instead of where he said to do it, so I changed it up a little bit, but same results, you know?
Yeah.
Danny, do you do this at the shop?
I can do it.
Did you do that to my car?
I have not installed one of his ground buses yet.
No, but something similar to this.
You can make your own.
I've
pretty
replaced
easy.
them when they've gone bad.
Right.
But the only time I've ever seen them gone bad, honestly, is when someone put the wrong relay in or shorted something out.
I feel like you did that to my car. Replace that?
It's not a bad idea, you know, but very rarely do we need to.
Right. I had a lot of electric shit, you know, like,
Yeah.
all the gadgets.
But if you want to, I can definitely, I wouldn't worry about it. Okay.
So my experience with my car, the instrument cluster that it shows you erroneous information and all that, is sometimes related to just the fact that you got a lousy ground.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
got a lousy ground up there in the instrument area, and if you'll clean that up, you'll find out that in reality, the parts are all working just fine. But it's down to the point of so much oxidation that it can't give you the correct reading.
Right. A dirty fuse also, that's a big thing. When somebody says their voltage is reading low, get back there, unplug and plug in the fuse a couple times. Oh, the voltage goes
And
down.
clean it.
Yeah, clean it, because that's another thing to service your fuse box. There's a dirty power connection to the cluster will cause all your readings to be wrong.
These don't look
Yeah.
too bad.
Yeah. I think that's the last screen. Let's check it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great.
And I went back there just to clean that.
That one
so
shows
I
all
might have
the
been
relays,
frozen
all the new
for
relays.
yeah.
So thank you for showing us this. There was one more slide to his presentation.
Yeah.
This is what your relay and fuse blocks area would look like if you did all these particular upgrades.
That's really clean.
Yeah.
So,
All right, everybody, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed our coverage of the San Diego DeLorean's Tech Day. And stay tuned for more Tech Day coverage here on DeLorean Tech. Once again, thanks for watching.